You don't have to own an eyeshadow palette and use 5 different freaking shadows to create a look. ColourPop Yes Please palette. This is the eyeshadow palette that I've used almost every day since I got it. Dramatic looks, fun looks, basic everyday natural looks. Eyeshadow for dummies, the dummy being me, just the tip. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Katie, and today I'm going to be doing an in-depth review / showing you how I use this favorite eyeshadow palette of mine. It is the ColourPop Yes Please palette. I talked about this palette a couple videos back in a favorites video of like favorite beauty products that I've been using recently. This is the eyeshadow palette that I've used almost every day since I got it. I think I got it in July. And I use it almost every single day. It's really fulfilled a lot of the needs that I've had for creating like dramatic looks, fun looks, basic everyday natural looks. And it's carried me through summer and into fall. And so I feel like it's such a well-rounded palette, very affordable. I think when I did the video, I said it was $19. I think it's actually $16. I actually picked this up at Ulta because Ulta does carry some ColourPop products. And the reason that I got this is because if you remember over the summer, my YouTube friend Matilda, who is now my real life friend, she visited me from Australia, which was amazing. If you saw, we did a product exchange. And this wasn't part of the product exchange, but we went to Ulta and did some shopping together. And before she came here, she had some products from ColourPop she bought and delivered them here. I was like, Matilda, this is gorgeous. I love this palette. And so when we went to Ulta, I was happy to see it there. So I sort of bought it as like a strange like keepsake memento of our time together, even though we exchanged a lot of products and I have so many things within my own kit now that remind me of her. But I bought it because I was so into this Naked Heat palette, and I had been getting into wearing a lot of really warm orangey shades, and I don't know how much this is. I think it's like $52. The truth is, I feel like this fulfills my needs and so much more. So some of my favorite shades that are unique to the Naked Heat palette is this shimmer and these two shimmers. Everything else is basically just browns. So these are sort of like the 3 colors that I feel like you would buy this palette for. And if you look over here, there's a shimmery brownish shade right here that matches up to this one. There's this one that matches up to this. And there's also this like sort of burnt rust color and this everyday brown color, which is in this palette as well. Except this palette has a yellow shade, which believe it or not, I've used and find to be very fun. It has a matte peach shade, which some days I wear all on its own. This darker peach shade, which actually worn on its own is not as intimidating and as bright as it looks. It's actually really pretty. More of like a burgundy shade, which is kind of fun. And then this gold, which is really beautiful. And I'm going to show you today how I used this with a couple of the basic browns. And then this sort of everyday, it's like a matte cream color, which is great as a base or a blending shade and whatnot. I'm not someone who wants to wear 4 or 5 different eyeshadow colors at the same time. I don't like to use a lot of different eyeshadow brushes. I only use like 1 or 2 eyeshadow brushes ever when I'm doing an eyeshadow look. So this is really eyeshadow for dummies, the dummy being me, because I don't like to spend a lot of time on my eyeshadow. I like using eyeshadows that are beautiful and pigmented and blend easy, and it makes it look like you have maybe 4 eyeshadows on when you only used 1, maybe 2. And so that's sort of what I look for when I am buying an eyeshadow palette, is that the colors are great, but that it performs well as well. So I'm going to show you my dummy's take on some of the most common ways that I wear this eyeshadow palette. And I figured instead of just sitting here and like taking off my makeup and coming back and showing you again, I'm just gonna flip the camera on every day when I get ready and just try to create like 3 to 5 different looks throughout the week. And so we'll do it that way, and then I'll switch up my lipstick because my base makeup always stays the same. I have a really simple routine that I've pared down, and it's really just my eyeshadow and my lipstick that I change every day, which makes it really easy to get ready in the morning. This is today's first look with a dark lip, a sort of golden eye, and yeah, let's get into it. So I might do my lips first, and then that sort of helps balance out, do I need a little bit more color on the eyes or not? I've talked about these Rimmel Exaggerate lip pencils. I love these so much because they're the kind that you just like twist up. They're really easy. And this is in the shade 64 Obsession. Sometimes I wear just the lip liner alone. Sometimes I'll put a gloss over it. Today, I think I'm gonna go over this with L'Oreal's Matte Majestic 707. Woo, that's dark even for me. Actually, I might go over and blot this off just a little bit. Okay, so since I did such a vampy lip, I'm basically going to go in with this gold right here and do this all over the eye. And then depending on how that looks, I might add a little bit of brown or this burnt orangey brown in the crease. So one thing about me is that I don't like using a lot of different eyeshadow brushes, and the eyeshadow brushes that I have are really cheap. Like I have basically a lot of Real Techniques, e.l.f., and I've got some of these Boomy brushes. Like literally 7 years ago I bought a kit. I never hear anybody talk about these, so I don't even know what this is. But the reason that I like this particular brush is because it tapers up. What this is really good for is the crease, because I'm not good at blending a color into the crease. But if you set just the tip into the color and then put it on there, it's very precise. And so the color is just on the tip, and then this outer part helps blend it. And so this is a really good shape. I highly recommend getting something like this for dummies in your eyeshadow kit because it's very helpful to me. I'm just gonna take this, whatever the heck this brush is, no clue, from e.l.f. It's just sort of like a flatter, kind of dense brush, to pack on this gold shade right here. And notice I didn't even put an eyeshadow primer on. I usually don't use a primer. I usually don't use anything because I am really trying to keep it simple. I don't go all the way up to my eyebrow, but I do get up into that crease and just pack it all on. And I do go into the corner quite well. So you could do just the gold all over, which pairs really nicely with the dark lip, but I am going to up it just a little bit and put a little bit of color in the crease. So I'm gonna go in with kind of a mix of both of these browns, I think. Again, just see how I'm hitting it just with like the tip of this brush. Back and forth like a windshield wiper. They say that because it makes a whole lot of sense when you're a dummy. And then it just sort of knocked back that gold color a little bit. Okay, and then I'm just gonna stick my pinky in the gold and go into the corner. And that's it. I'm gonna add this CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume in Black is Black. There's look number one, super simple, and I'll see you tomorrow with another look. Okay, today's look is going to be another simple, they're all simple, kind of peach and burgundy-ish look. I actually tried this the other day and I really liked it. So I'm basically just gonna do this peach shade all over my lid, which I actually wear that a lot on its own, especially in the summer. I find like it's a really nice neutral peachy wash of color. And then I'm gonna do a little bit of this burgundy in the crease, which I know seems a little intense, but it's actually really quite nice. Okay, so peach all over the lid. I'm just basically gonna pack it on. Now I would stop right here and I wear just this peach shade on its own a lot. I'm gonna go in with this burgundy shade and just go a little bit in the crease just to sort of define it a little bit and give a little bit more color. So again, same as the first look, I'm just literally dipping just this pointed part right into that color and then setting it right in my crease and going back and forth. And that's really all I'm doing. The only thing I'm being strategic with when I do this is when I first place the color down, I'm putting it on the outside first and then going, because wherever you place the brush first is where the most color is gonna lay down, and then I blend from there so that the most color is kind of on the outside, but I'm not like strategically building it up in that area, I'm just placing it there first. And then that's basically it. I'm just basically gonna, that looks really intense. When I look in here, it doesn't look that intense. But I think before you get like mascara on and lipstick on, it always looks a little bit more intense, so we'll see. We'll even it out afterwards if it's a little crazy. This one does look a little bit crazy. I'm gonna add just a little bit of that peach over it. Okay, I'm gonna put mascara on and then I'll show you what lips I'm doing. For lips, I'm going to combine these two shades. This is the Rimmel Exaggerate Lip Liner in the color Enchantment. So I'm going to go with that all over the lips. And then this is the Neutrogena Moisture Stick. I love these. This is in the color Pink Grapefruit. I'm going to go over that just a little bit. And that's it. Here we go. That looks a lot more balanced out now that we did the lips too. All right, well there's look number 2 using my favorite palette, and I will see you again tomorrow with another combo. All right, look number 3 is going down. And today, it's November 6th in America, Election Day. I basically have worn almost every one of these shades, with maybe the exception of this really dark one and just the yellow, by themselves. I think that they all make a really great one eyeshadow look. And so I want to show you that today. And this one right here, I really like using as one eyeshadow. This one's sort of similar to it. This one's just a little bit more pigmented. And so I'm going to go in with this all over the lid today. And I have no idea what brush this is. It came in a set with something, but I'm just going to use this end. It's sort of not clean. One shade all over. Pack it on. I basically just pack it on at the lid and then I'll blend out. And these are really super pigmented, and so I probably should have not gone in as heavy as I did with this, because these shades, they have a major color payoff. Also, another random thing, I used to not really be all about going in this like inner corner area. I mean, this inner corner area, yes, with like a lighter color to highlight, but this inner corner area, I used to try to brighten it up and not go in there with a lot of color. But now I've realized that since I have sort of a hooded eye, which means when I open my eye, you can't really see a lot of the lid space. My crease, is really covered with the heaviness of this lid. A lot of my lid space happens to live in that corner. So I do kind of use that now, and that's sort of a new thing for me, is using that space. And I like it actually. This shade is just a really pretty like penny rust shade, which is really nice, and it looks really pretty with blue eyes. Okay, so there it is with mascara, and I'm just gonna put on some lipstick. The lip color that I wanted to use is actually in my handbag, I think, which is the Maybelline, it's like one of those crayon things in Blush Burst. I've talked about it before, I love it. It's basically like a nude. This is not necessarily gonna be a nude, but we're gonna make it work. It's the NYX Retractable Lip Liner in the shade Nectar. This is interesting because it's sort of like a shimmery lip liner. And then I'm gonna go over it with the Neutrogena Hydra Boost in Ballet Pink. There we go. I think this is look number 3. Today I'm going to do a super sort of natural look on the eyes that can go with many different lipsticks. I am actually going to pair it with a blue-based red. I am an orange-based red fan when it comes to lipstick, but I saw an image on Zara recently, I'll post it up here, that I loved so much. It was a blue-based red, really bold, and it looked like a natural sort of brownish grayish eye, or maybe she has dark lids and she didn't have any eyeshadow on at all. I'm sure she had eyeshadow on. So I'm basically going to go in my crease with this light brown shade, and then I'm going to deepen it up and like rust it up a little bit with this rusty brown, and those are the only two I'm going to use. And I'm actually first going to lay down this just to sort of give my eye a clean sweep of everything, and then go in with those two. So I'm going in with that light brown shade first. It's kind of reminiscent of like a bronzer shade to me a little bit, but I love using bronzer as a crease shade. Shadows are super pigmented, so you don't need to pick up much product to get a lot on there. Okay, so there's that, and that's a really simple 2 eyeshadows, just one cream all over, and then just in the crease. That defines the crease a little bit, and that could stop right there. But I am going to take this kind of rusty brown shade, and again, just go in with just a little bit on the tip of this brush. And you'll see it's sort of like a precision line. It just deepens it up and exaggerates it a little bit more. See, it just exaggerates it, which I think is a nice compliment when you have a really bold lipstick on. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm gonna go in with the lips. It's funny that I've shown you a lot of lip liners this week because I don't use lip liners every day, although I do use them as a lipstick. So usually I use like a lip liner and then put a gloss or a balm on top of it. But I am going to use a lip liner today for the sole purpose that this is really bold red and it's sort of slippery, and so this will help me stay in the lines. So I'm starting off with my favorite Rimmel Exaggerate. This is actually an orange red. I don't have a blue-based red lip liner because I don't usually wear blue-based reds, but this is in Call Me Crazy. I wear this all the time just by itself as an orange-based red. I love it, but I'm going to top it with the L'Oreal Lilac in the shade Laconic. They're creamy, they're comfortable, they smell like old frickin' L'Oreal that your grandma used. It's the only thing I hate about L'Oreal lipsticks. But that's really red. I'm probably gonna blot this down a little bit and put some mascara on, and I'll be right back. All right, there we go. I put on some mascara. I got my red sweater, my green nail polish. This is like a good holiday look. And if you wanted to, speaking of the holidays, if you wanted to go in on the lid just a little bit and in the corner with that gold, that would be really pretty too. All right, so there you go. There's one more really simple eyeshadow look that I think would look great with basically any lipstick because it's just sort of an everyday neutral eyeshadow that just pops that crease a little bit, and I really like. So for today's final look, I'm gonna do one of my favorite things, which is sort of a monochromatic orange look all over the face. I've already done a little bit of the Glossier Cloud Paint in Dawn, stippled it on my cheeks a little bit. I'm also gonna use it on my lips. I use this on my eyes a lot too, because I think it's such a pretty color. But for the sake of showing you another really simple, beautiful one eyeshadow look all over the lid, I'm just gonna do this orange shimmery one right here, and we're just gonna go in with that. So today I'm gonna go in with sort of like a flat brush to sort of pack it on the lid, and then I'm gonna blur it out a little bit towards the top. The other day when I went in with that shimmery rush shade, it was kind of like, it was pretty intense. This color starts out a little bit more subtle and you can build it up, which is nice. So it's just a pretty light, shimmery, sort of yellowish orange. So there's just the one color. Over the summer, I did what was called like a sunset eye, and I added this orange sort of to the outer corner, and I might have deepened it up with this a little bit too, and then moved in to the inner corner with the yellow, which I thought was really fun for summer. All right, I'm gonna add mascara and a little cloud paint, and we'll be done. See how once I added that lip, and I have orange all over my hands, it made the eye pop even more. So there you go. There's my final look using my favorite palette. I hope this made you see that for someone like me who's not a perfectionist with eyeshadow, you can own and love an eyeshadow palette and never use it to create a look with 5 different eyeshadows. Something like this can be approachable. It doesn't have to be complicated. Use a palette, but don't feel like you have to be a gosh darn makeup artist. You don't have to use 5 eyeshadows every time you whip out a palette. You can use just one and love them all individually. All right, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in another video real soon where I'll probably be wearing this palette. Bye.